Hey everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. Today I've got another nice packaging idea. This cute little gift bag here, and it's to hold a lint teddy. I'll give you the measurements of the teddy, but even on its own, it's just a nice little gift bag there. I've made the front little window here, but you don't need to add that at all. That's the only place I've used dies for this one. Made a cute little gift tag there and used the poinsettias that were made for me, and then just the little ribbon handle there. Very straightforward, so let's get started. I've used the papers from this pad here, Classic Christmas Party, £4 from The Works. Not sure if they're still available. I've gone for the snowflake with the green inside there. For this one, I'm going to have this pattern paper, and then it's got the green script on the inside. For the Aperture, I've used my inverted scallop dies, oval dies, and the filigree border. So you'll see there, the scallop one creates that lovely pattern inside, and then on the outside I've got that beautiful filigree pattern. I'll talk through that a bit more in a minute. For the gift tag, I've just used the sentiment toppers here. I've got a couple of the gold ones left, and I've already put that one together there. It's just a piece of card, you can see, just cut it to whatever size you want. I've used the gold mirrored card there, pop the matching card on top, and then the little sentiment, and these were made and sent to me from a friend last Christmas. But I believe someone did say that May made it, has a tutorial, and I think it's just called Poinsettia Flowers or something. So if you want to see how they're made, check it out. I haven't actually looked at it, so I should, because I did say I was going to do a tutorial, I think even last year when I showed them, so I need to maybe do that. Okay, so you're going to want 2 pieces of 7 by 9.5 inch card. And along the 9.5 inch side, you want to score at 6 3/4, and then along the 7 inch side, you want to score at 6.5. Okay, and you want to do that scoring on both. These pieces here, I think that's just a scrap piece, or is that the right size? I'm not sure. You want to have 1 inch by, I mean, this is 8 1/4, but I'm going to trim it. It's just to decorate the top there. That's optional. You might have, you know, the inside of the card may coordinate really nicely that you can fold it back over, so you can have that side of it on show. So entirely up to you. And then for the handles, you can use ribbon, cardstock, but I always keep these handles from my shopping bags, and I also recycle them at Christmas. So if this one, you know, whoever does get this and I'm with them and they don't want it, the buyout bag, then I'll take the handles back off again. So next you want to fold and burnish those score lines, and then you're just going to cut up this bottom score line to the first score line. So I've got the 1/2 inch tab there on the right hand side, so you just want to free that up, and then you'll have this other little score line here. Again, just cut up to the first one and just remove that, and then I'm going to just take a little bit off of each end there, and off this square one here I'm just going to take a wedge off of each side. Okay, so we don't score anything in here, we're just going to be kind of wrapping it to create that bucket style. Now if you want to cut your aperture, you want to do this now. So I want to take this one here, I'll give you the measurements for this so you can look for something similar. So it's 3 by about 4.5. Now I want to get this so that it is within the middle of this kind of part. So pretend you've got a line kind of going up here. You want to have it within there. Okay, so you can see there's like little folds that do appear. Okay, that's where you want to have that. Now I've got my frame piece here, so I want to make sure I have it high enough to cut the aperture, but then enough room for the frame to be attached. You can see it goes quite far down to the bottom there, so I think that's about right. Come up a little bit more. I'm just going to take that in place and get that one cut. I've then got this piece of acetate, so just make sure it's big enough to cover your opening there. So I've just ran some red tape just around the 4 sides there, and I'm just going to stick that one down. Just make sure that's all secure, and that's now going to reinforce that piece again, make it nice and strong. Okay, I'll stick my frame on in a bit. So then we can stick these 2 pieces together. So I'm just going to run my glue all the way down the 1/2 inch tab, and then just sit that one over the top. And as I always say, make sure your base score line lines up. This one here. If it's a little bit higher or off at the top, you can always trim that and fix it Okay, and then I'm just going to fold this one over with this 1/2 inch tab, and again add the glue. Actually, this is what I remember doing. You're going to have to trim if you do your acetate window. So my 1/2 inch here is going to come into this frame. So I'm actually going to trim this in half. So it's now 1/4 inch. I have to clean those scissors in a minute. And then what I'm also going to do is use the red tape because it's going to be sticking onto all of that acetate. And just take the backing off. So you only need to trim that to 1/4 inch and add red tape if you've done what I've done here. If you've left that plain, just keep it at the 1/2 inch and just use your liquid glue as normal. And then I'm just going to line that up and stick that down there. There we go. You kind of don't want to make a fold, which I've done there. I just realised. But you kind of want to keep it so you can't see, you know, there's no score line there. So just try not to make it as a fold. Now, also, I should have said you want to try and make sure you've got a busy paper, which this is. You know, you're not, I don't think, too drawn to that. If you can see that one there, you wouldn't even know there's a join there. So I think the smaller and busier the paper, then it's going to be fine. But if you've got something that's got real bold and big prints, you're going to really notice the join there. But I'm hoping once the frame's on and that tag's going to be there, you're not really going to see that at all. Then we can stick down the bottom. So I always like to stick the back down first. And I'm going to add my glue. Now, if you're going to maybe pop something heavier in this, maybe you've got a candle, because I think it'd be a nice size for that, then I would maybe add another piece of cardstock in between this as well. Maybe a little bit of grey board if you really want the bottom to not kind of bow and lose its shape. But for most things, this will be enough. And then just stick down that front one. And you can just go inside and just stick that all down there. Okay, so for the frame, I just used the original size die there, and then I've used this frame around it. And you'll see once I place that one down, it just fits in there nicely. So I'm going to run my glue around this piece. So I think it'd be a bit easier. And then I've just kind of pinched the top parts there just so it starts to fall into that shape a bit more. Next, I want to stick these ones down. I think this one might have been the exact width, just a little bit over. The total length of that is going to be 6.5. So 2 strips of 1 by 6.5. I'm going to stick those down there. Okay, so that's nice and secure. And then I need to add my holes so I can attach the ribbon. So I'm going to come in 1.5 inches, and then you just want to just pop a little marker in the middle of that kind of panel, and again on this side. And I've got my punch here. And then I can attach, do the back one first. And then this side. Like so. And just like that, you've got a really sweet little bag. With the bear or whatever you're having inside, I just pop some foam pads on the bottom. You don't have to do that, but it just stops it moving around. So I'm just going to add just a few on the bottom there. And then just carefully lower that in. I can use the window there to make sure I get him nice and centered. His little heart there swinging. How sweet does that look? And then with the gift tag, I've already popped some baker's twine through the top there so I can write my message and everything on the back. I'm just going to, I think I just tied it off in a bow. And you can see with the frame and that detail, it kind of hides the join there. So if your paper is a little bit busier, like I said, and the pattern doesn't quite match, I don't think you're really drawn to it. And there's them both side by side. So, you know, whether you've got the lint teddy or not, anything's going to look lovely in this. And as I always say, most things are going to work for all occasions, all year round. Just change your papers. But I think they do set off the little teddy bear really nicely. He's inexpensive, you know, that now has just turned that into a really nice little gift. I think it's great for Secret Santa, you know, maybe your nail techs, your hairdresser, you know, I think it's a really sweet little gift. So I hope you've enjoyed this one today. And as always, I'll link as much of the product that I've used in the description box below. If you've enjoyed today and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and that way you won't miss out on any future videos. And I'll have some other tutorials coming up now as well, similar to these nice little gift bags that you might want to go and watch next. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.